Attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Meenakshi, and on behalf of NEN and Wadhwani Foundation, I would like to invite you all for this interesting webinar and also introduce our expert speaker, Mr. Gaurav Prakash. Gaurav is a serial entrepreneur who has the passion to do things that makes a difference. He is a graphic designer and a social media addict. He is the director of WLS Solution Private Limited, a student-run company incubated under Manipal University. He heads social media at the firm. He loves to travel and explore new places. He is a petrol head and he is also certified commercial pilot from the United States of America. He believes in sharing the power of social media to everyone around and educating them on its various issues and uses. He is going to discuss on the topic how to harness the power of social media. Social media has become an integral part of our lives and businesses. Here's our opportunity to learn. Before I hand over the floor to Gaurav, here are a few reminders for the audiences. Audiences, you'll be on mute. You may ask questions by typing in the panel provided. Over to you, Gaurav.
Okay, thank you so much for the introduction, Meenakshi. Okay, so guys, basically what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be walking you through about how to use social media from a personal level. You know, we've been through a lot of webinars where we talk about how businesses are using social media and how there's so many people on the network and how things are different. This particular session is going to be about how you as an individual can leverage the particular network that you're on and how things work out in that way. So let's get started. We today, if you look at this, we are basically surrounded by social media superheroes all around. You have Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, everything that you can think of. We're all surrounded by them at all times. And it's funny how, because we spend so much of time online, and there's more to Facebook than just liking statuses or commenting on your friends' achievements or sharing a few updates or sharing good jokes. There's more to Twitter as well than as we as fellow entrepreneurs think. There's a lot more that can go into the social media network, and that's basically what I'm going to be talking about. Let's run over a few facts before we get started. And this is a couple of facts that have come out from Facebook itself, and you can see on the screen that there's so much of population online. There's so much of information that is being shared. The best thing is that the average user is 38 and rising. So a lot of people, even from the older generation, are joining the network now. And excuse me, it's really getting on to a point where everyone is on the network. Be it Facebook, be it Twitter, be it LinkedIn, and it's surprising how a lot of people do not know how to leverage this particular session, and how they can't leverage all of this on a personal agenda. So, I mean, if you look at it from a normal basis, there are more than 2 billion posts that are being liked and commented on daily. So there are 2 billion people logging in on a daily basis and doing all of this. And if you look at something that's coming in from Twitter, if you look at something that's coming in from YouTube, the astronomical figures that are going out there, there are 100,000 tweets being sent every day. There's so many queries on Google. But again, the question comes into, as an individual, I see that, okay, we've been through so many seminars, we've been through so many webinars, there's so many blogs out there.
Gaurav, I'm so sorry. Gaurav, I'm sorry, Gaurav, I have to interrupt. I'm so sorry. You'll have to be a bit louder, Gaurav, because the audiences, they're not really able to hear you. A bit more louder.
Okay.
Thank you.
So basically, if you look at, no problem. So basically, if you look at all of these facts and figures, the way it is designed is there's so many people on the network, and very few of these people actually know how to leverage this on a personal agenda. So, so what if there are 1 billion people on the network, if there's so many companies online, how does it matter to you? That is the big question that we're trying to answer over here. Well, the way that the things are being designed right now, with social media getting so active, businesses and individuals are now thinking about something on these agendas where they say that we don't have a choice whether we be on social media or not. The question is how well we are going to be there. So as an individual, you need to leverage this, and you can basically take this forward, and you can actually see all the efforts that these companies are doing in, and you can basically leverage it on a personal level. So on the social media network, trust me, you have the power. As an individual, you have the power to tell these companies what you're thinking, tell these companies what you want them to do, and all of that. And it's surprising because a lot of people think that, oh, I just have probably 10 or 20 followers on Twitter, and whatever I say will not be heard to, or I don't have enough connections on LinkedIn, whatever I say will not be held to. but there's a difference in that, which is what we're going to explore today. So let me take an example over here. How many times have you got messages like this on your phone? You know, I am a diehard Airtel fan. Both my phones are on Airtel, and every now and then I keep getting texts like these which says you have subscribed to Hello Tunes at ₹30 per month, and dial for options. So it's a little annoying because this is not what you've subscribed for, and the only way to get out of this is to do what? Call customer care. And what do you get out of that? You just call up on one-to-one, and you're kept on hold for minutes together, and you're just listening to some music. And the worst thing is that at the end of the day, your question is still not answered. Your concerns are still not taken care of. They're probably taken up to the supervisor, and you never hear back from them. And there are a lot of things that go wrong over there, and there's no track record basically. So you can't call the next person and say, yeah, I called on this date, and this was my tracking number and whatever. The entire link is missing. So even if this guy says that, okay, please call me back after a week, when you do call them back after a week, they've lost track. So it's a new case all over again. So, let's see how having your voice heard on the social media network for something as simple as this can really change the way things are going on. So a couple of, we all keep getting messages like these. So I'm going to show you how you can tweet to Airtel. Airtel being my favorite, they're really active on social media and they're really nice. So, I'm going to take their example. So I was in Kuwait, I'm from Kuwait, and I got a new phone. So when I put the SIM inside, it gave me a SIM unlock pin. Now, on an international roaming, I'm not really advisable to, call Airtel on their this thing and tell them that, okay, this is the issue that I'm facing. So this is what I did. I sent them a tweet which said that, okay, I'm on international roaming and my phone is asking me for a SIM network unlock pin. Can you please help me? And you can see immediately Airtel got back to me and they said that please DM your international contact number and we will give you a call and we'll assist you with that. And it's so nice. Airtel actually called me on my international number in Kuwait and spoke to me for good 20-25 minutes and they solved my problem. And I was surprised because when you're in India you can probably have a call doing, but Airtel actually did an international call to make sure that my concern was taken care of. And I'm not a Twitter celebrity per se, I have barely 400 odd followers. It's not a big number, but still Airtel made sure that anything that I did was taken care of and that I was a happy customer. So you can see the conversations, they've asked me for my details and I've given them the details and they've got in touch with me and the issue has been solved. So, the various things like these, and this was solved within a couple of minutes. I didn't even really have to struggle a lot for this, and imagine doing this on a daily basis whenever you have an issue. Rather than making a call, rather than sending an email, you can just send them a tweet and they'll reply back to you. Now, the advantage that we were talking about of so many people being on the network is exactly this. If you look at my tweet, I've tagged Airtel Presence. If you can see over here, I've tagged Airtel Presence. And in the previous tweet, I had hashtag Airtel over here. So anyone who goes on Twitter and searches for Airtel or Airtel Presence, my tweets are going to show up. So now the billions and billions of people who are online, imagine if 5 people are thinking about rather if one person is thinking about getting a new connection and he goes to Twitter and he does a search, okay, is Airtel better or is Vodafone better? Let me make a quick comparison. So they go on Airtel and they just, type Airtel and they say, okay, they have so many complaints, it's not unanswered or it's answered or whatever. They go over to Vodafone and they say, okay, these guys don't have a lot of complaints. So, a mind gesture comes in that, okay, I think Vodafone is better than Airtel for the sole reason that they do not have complaints on the network. So your voice is being heard over here. And, they helped me out over here and it was really good. And, it's not just Airtel that does all of this. There's a lot of other companies that do this as well. And the best part of getting to use Twitter is that you can also help a lot of your friends out. Like, for example, a good friend of mine, she was having issues with her data connection. So she told me that, I've called customer care a couple of times and, I don't know what to do. Can you help me with it? So I just sent Airtel a tweet. Now, this is not my personal problem, but it's my friend's problem. So I still sent Airtel a tweet tagging her and I've told them that, she's having issues with her data connection. Can you please look into it? I've messaged you the details. And I send them the details that, this is her phone number, you can get in touch with her and, see what the issue may be. And even to that, Airtel very gladly replied and said that, okay, we'll definitely get in touch with her and, see what can be done. And her query was solved as well immediately. So the entire point, of being over here is that networks, these companies are on this network, they are there for you. So you should know how to use these. It's a simple tweet. I mean, I can tell you to do this right now. If you're facing any problem on your phone with regards to the subscriber, make a tweet right now. tell Airtel, tell Vodafone, whoever it is, make a tweet right now, and I guarantee you before the end of the session they would have got back to you, and your problem could be solved within the end of the day. So this is something that I actually want you guys to try out. Send a dummy tweet to Airtel, saying that, okay, I'm having network issues or whatever. Just see them reply. They immediately do this. And the best thing about this is that every subscriber, every service connection over there is doing this these days. So it's not only Airtel. Like for example, I did an online recharge on Vodafone, and I didn't get the account debited. So I sent them a tweet, and they immediately got back to me, saying that, okay, if it's not done this way, then that's how it's taken care of. So, and they're very courteous because on Twitter, like I said before, there are a lot of people watching them. So they make sure that the problem is solved. They give you a call back. They have one of the expert representatives get in touch with you and solve the issue to make sure that you are happy about it. And if you look at them, they are designed in such a way that they try to have experts more online. So that way, you don't get to talk to the underdogs. You get the problem solved directly. And forget telephones, forget everything. Even your cars, for example. My friend had a very bad experience with Infinity Motors at Mumbai. So, he told me the same thing is like, all the services are built completely wrong, and, I don't know what to do. But, when it comes to a point where you say that, okay, now it comes to a point where you say that, I'm tired of giving the manager a call. I'm tired of telling people the issue. I'm tired of making calls. I'm tired of making trips to the dealership and asking them what the issue may be. But I said, okay, let me help you over here. And I sent them a tweet saying that, very highly disappointed with this and this. Now, BMW India, for some reason, is not that active on Twitter. So they got back to me a couple of days later saying that, we are sorry for the inconvenience, but the issue had been solved by then. But the point I'm trying to put over here is everything that you can think of, your laptops, your phones, your service providers, everyone is on Twitter, and they're all looking to make sure that you as a person are happy. So if you have a Twitter account that you're using just to retweet some interesting post, if you're having a Twitter account just to retweet some good stuff that you find on the internet, you can also use it for stuff like this that really actually matters to you on a personal level. So there are a lot of companies out there which is doing this today. And like I said, they're very responsive about it. And even Jet Airways, for example. So I was unable to check in on the website, and I sent them a tweet saying that, okay, I'm having issues doing the check-in, can you help me out over there? And they immediately got back to me saying that, okay, the website is down, and can you please DM me your PNR details? And I did that, and they checked me in directly. So any company that you can think of today is on the network, and it's very important that you understand this, that these guys are there for you. So the more you leverage this, the better your life becomes. I mean, you don't have to worry about, making a call. You don't have to worry about sending an email, because come on, it becomes an effort itself. It becomes a task for the day that, okay, today I have to call these guys and get my money back, or today I have to call these guys and see what the issue is. But you can make a tweet whenever you want. You're traveling, you can do whatever, and that's the ease that this is doing on. Now, a couple of tips when you make stuff like this is sometimes it's good to have these hashtags over here. For example, hashtag Jet Airways, hashtag web check-in, even after you've tagged Jet Airways, because sometimes you might not have the right ID over here where it says Jet Airways. So it's pretty much possible that although you've done the tweet to Jet Airways, they might not receive it. So we work at an agency where we do an online research module where we go and hashtag and we search hashtags as well. So if you hashtag Jet Airways, the probability of your tweet going, being visible is much higher. So you can hashtag Jet Airways, you can hashtag web check-in, that being your issue, and you can send them a tweet. And although in this particular issue I do not have, there's not a lot of time lag between Jet Airways coming in and attending to my query, but that's also a very good thing to do, because then you basically are increasing the visibility of your tweet. And I mean, I'm pretty sure how everybody over here knows how hashtags work, so that adds an extra advantage to the tweet that you make. And as an entrepreneur, these are daily life things that a lot of people come across with, but as an entrepreneur, how do I do that? So there are a couple of things that even an entrepreneur can use just using the network. And for example, imagine if you've gone to a seminar and you've attended to see basically how the things are, and you want to connect to the speaker, or you want to connect to anyone across the network. So you can do that as well using Twitter, because believe me, the number of celebrities that are on Twitter, the number of big entrepreneurs that are on Twitter, the number of successful businessmen that are on Twitter is really high, and they're waiting to talk to you. So you can, like for example, I was at IIT Bombay this time, and I had the opportunity to meet Mahesh Murthy in person, and I just took a picture of him, while at the session, and I sent out a tweet saying it's a very general tweet, as you can see. It says, the privilege of seeing Mahesh Murthy in person, hashtag IIE Summit, hashtag Startup Life. And I just tagged Mahesh Murthy because I knew his Twitter ID. So it was not even directed to him. It was a very general tweet that just went out. But because he's active on the network, because he saw this picture and he wanted the picture, you can see below he got back to me saying that, hey, thanks, a nice picture, can I take it? So the sheer, happiness that you get that, okay, someone as big as Mahesh Murthy has replied to your tweet is something that's completely out of this world. And Twitter lets you do that. With the right hashtags, with the right taggings, you can go places. And, just not me, there are a lot of people who tweeted to him and, told him that, okay, the experiences was really nice. And he's got back to them as well. So again, there's a lot of myth about people thinking that, okay, I need to have at least 1,000 followers for anyone to be able to listen to me or reply to my queries and whatnot. That's not the case. You can have very few followers and also get your work done. So this is another example. Some other person called Jairam Iyer was also there. He sent a tweet to Mahesh Murthy as well saying that, okay, we had a great time. It's nice seeing you. And he replied to that as well. So, it's nothing very big per se. And, also, for example, Mr. Pradeep Chopra, who is a person who I look up to, he's digital Vidya, and, he basically gives training sessions on social media. So he basically, it's very hard to connect with these people because they're almost unavailable on the phone. Emails is fine, but Twitter is something that they're open to. So for me to be able to interact with someone as big as, this guy and get his reply back saying that, okay, thanks, it's good, good. You make a connection, you make a network. So even to connect to entrepreneurs, it's a very important platform. And like I said, you can leverage this whenever I want. Now, next time I want to talk to Pradeep, I'm going to send him an email or I'm going to reply back to his tweet saying that, okay, hey, I've sent an email, please look into it. He will gather all of this. He will connect it. Because when he gets a Twitter notification, you can see the entire Twitter conversation that went on. So he can connect that, okay, yeah, this guy, I met him there. Okay, yeah, he's congratulated me on this. Okay, let me reply to his email. So it's things like these, it's networking 101, and it's things like these that matter. And it's also good when you're connecting to someone on a session. For example, I had a session on social media usage a while back in Bangalore to ICFAI students, and I told them to make tweets with hashtag relive, and everyone sent tweets using hashtag relive, and they told me how the session was, and the tweets were going on live while I was presenting this session, and I could see them. Okay, this is, are people really enjoying my session? Are people thinking that, okay, there should be more to this, or anything of those sorts? So even for that, Twitter is very handy, and you can see again, hashtag relive was what I told them to tweet. So you can go to Twitter and just search hashtag relive, and you'll see all the tweets that have been generated for that particular session. So it's a very interesting way to do that, and I mean, these are standing testimonials about my sessions that are right there. So you can leverage it that way as well. And there's more to that. And you can also connect with people even after you've sort of lost touch, because when you're giving a session, there are 100, 150 people. You can't connect to all of them personally. But there are a few people who really like your session and they want to hear you again. So for example, this guy, he said that, it's good to see you, it's good to be on the seminar of yours, and if there's anything coming up which I can attend, please do let me know. And I replied to him, this is way back in December, on the 5th of December, and I said, no, absolutely, if I have something, I'll definitely get in touch with you. And today I was doing this session, so I sent him a tweet again that, okay, hey, I'm doing this webinar today, check in over there and see if you enjoy this session or not. So that way I'm maintaining a connection with her. And a lot of people have issues with privacy as well. They don't accept Facebook friend requests that comes their way, which is pretty normal. I don't accept a lot of Facebook friend requests until I meet the person. So Twitter is something where it's pretty open. You don't have to, you're not giving away your privacy. Obviously, what you tweet is important, but you're not giving away a lot of your privacy. And here is a place where you can, connect to people, you can have conversations and things of those kind. Now, the next favorite platform that I have is LinkedIn, of course. And, this is the platform that is being used by a lot of entrepreneurs these days. There is a lot of buzz about this. And I'll show you the power that this has. So we are WRS Solutions. We are basically into website development and social media and all of that. And we happened to come across JBL's Harman Kardon's Facebook presence, and we didn't really like it. So I thought that, all right, fine, let's reach out to the guy. Now, when you're looking to get an instant connection on something of this level, if you send them an email, it's probably going to come back. It's probably going to bounce back. It's probably going to come back saying that, okay, hey, we'll get in touch with you later. There's no personal connection. So I found Mr. Ravi Bansal on Facebook, on LinkedIn itself, and he heads marketing at Harman. I sent him a connection to invite, and this is what my message said. It said, "Hi Ravi, would love to connect with you and explore the possibility of management of social media platforms with JBL. We are a startup that does social media marketing, content writing, and graphic content designing. We have clients such as Wadhwani University working with us." So what I've done here is I've initiated a connection. At the same time, I've told him, okay, this is who I am, this is what I do. Is there something that we can probably work with? So, you see, with just one connection, I got him, talking to me. I got him interested in me, which is the most important thing. So now he replies, "Thanks for reaching out. We have an in-house social media team managing JBL and Harmony India page. Nevertheless, would still like to discuss what value add you can bring along." And he's given me his official email ID, which I couldn't find on the website. So we obviously took this forward, and so this is a connection that is coming from LinkedIn itself. And you try sending him an email, for example, to listen@harman.com, especially if it's a marketing pitch. It's very hard to get the right person. So you can use LinkedIn for this as well. And there are many more examples. For example, Paytm. I'm sure everyone knows about Paytm. So I wanted to get in touch with this guy and see if we can help him out in some way. So I did the same thing. I got in touch with him, and I sent him a request. He accepted it, and we had a little conversation. And so that way, even now he understands. He connects, and next time he sees my name or next time I see my name, I'm like, yeah, I've connected with this guy. I know who this person is. So that is the privilege that LinkedIn users have, because LinkedIn is very professional. So you can talk about business, you can talk about what you are as a startup, what you do, and this is something that Twitter at the moment is not offering. Twitter is good for making one-on-one connections. You can probably retweet some of the thing that's coming in from these guys, but if you really want to connect to the person in charge, for example, the marketing head in charge or the digital marketing person, so that's where LinkedIn really comes into the picture, and it helps you do this. So you can connect to a lot of people in this way. And you can also close businesses using this. Like there was this guy called as Ali Rampur, who was based out of the Middle East, and I just sent him a request on LinkedIn, which just said that I'd love to connect with you, and I basically said I'm a small business owner. We provide companies with websites, blogs, and social media presence, PowerPoint slides, and much more. And if you look at this thing, I didn't even ask him if he's looking for a new business. I didn't even ask him if he needs a website. I didn't even ask him any of that. I just introduced myself and I just said what I was doing, and it's nice to connect with you. That's it. And he got back to me saying that we're looking for someone to develop a very basic website and write content. Please send me samples of your company's work. So we ended up closing this deal. So the way LinkedIn works is make a connection, make that initial touch, and you introduce yourself properly. And that's how you get to reach a lot of people. That's how you understand how the network works. That's how you understand their own mindset, that okay, this is what they're interested in. This is what excites them, and sometimes it's as simple as sending in a message and just introducing yourself, and that closes the deal. So even that's pretty easy to do these days. You're not always lucky. We've had times when we've sent out a lot of messages to people, and we've not got replies. For example, I reached out to Farindra and I tried to. Obviously, he didn't get back to me, but.
Gaurav,
See if you can see that
hello?
I'm connected to him on LinkedIn. So
Hi.
that itself is a big thing, although he's a very busy guy right now and it's difficult for him to reply back to all emails and everything. But there is a connection that you can see over here. And there's nothing to be shy about with connecting to people on LinkedIn, no matter how big the person may be or how small the person might be. So please don't, hold yourself back saying that, okay, no, I think he's too big a person to be connecting on LinkedIn. These guys are there on LinkedIn for the network. So they want to get in touch with you. They want to know what the startup community is about. They want to get in touch with fellow entrepreneurs. They want to see how these small companies are working. There's a lot for them to learn from us as well. So LinkedIn is also a very good thing that you can take it forward. Now, a couple of tips and pointers when you start using LinkedIn regularly is that when you send someone an invitation, so the moment you click on connect, you see this particular dialog box that pops up, and it asks you how do you know this guy and what is your this thing. So if you click on something which says that we've done business together, it asks you which organization you work for. I mean, which organization you guys have worked together on and what did you guys do. But when you're connecting with someone for the very first time, it's very hard for you to put all of these stuff. And if you can put it as a friend, then you can put in the details and get that in. The most important point that's over here is this personal note. Is this personal note that I'm talking about? It's an option field, but this is where all the magic happens. You can either connect to him using either a friend or an other. If you do, I do not know Rakesh, you won't be able to connect with him. So other or a friend, And this is the personal note area that I was talking to you about. Now this is LinkedIn default, which says that I'd like you to connect with my professional network on LinkedIn. That's it. Now this won't get you anywhere. I get at least 100 requests every day which says that, okay, hi, I'd like you to connect my professional network. And I don't even know who the person is. And, I have to go to his profile and see what he is. Is he someone who's relevant to me? Should I make a connection or not? And sometimes that's a lot of work. So I just end up deleting the email. I'm like, okay, the next time I log on to LinkedIn, I'll see what can be done. And you miss the connection over there. But if your introductory personal note talks about who you are, what your business is, what you're interested in, how you can help me, or how is there something that you can assist me with, that's what generates interest in me. For example, if someone connects with me on LinkedIn and says that, okay, hi, my name is this and this, and I'm into the business of application development, and we've worked with these guys, we're looking to explore the possibility of working with you as well. So that immediately tells me what the person wants from me. That immediately tells me, okay, this is what the person is here for. That immediately tells me his background. And that really helps me to make a connection and it stays in my mind. Next time I need to outsource a mobile application development project, I know, okay, yeah, there's this guy who I connected on LinkedIn. So that way, it leverages not only your network potential, but it also leverages the power that you feel as an individual, literally the unlimited resources that you have on tap. You're connected with a lot of different people, and for different purposes. It's not necessary that it could always be for business. You could follow your interests on LinkedIn. But when it comes to making connections like these, it's very important, because somewhere down the line, you never know who's going to be of what use. And you know that there's a channel that you have that you can reach out to them. So this is something that's very important with LinkedIn as well. And once you start getting active on LinkedIn, you'll see a lot of people calling themselves as lions. And it's a little weird when you see someone, their name, and in brackets it says lion. So you're like, okay, what is a lion? So lion is basically a LinkedIn open network. So this is the person who is going to accept any and every invitation that comes his way, and he will not reject it. So these are initially the best people. These are initially the best person who you can get in touch to when it comes to making initial connections, and creating your LinkedIn profiles and making sure that everything is up to date. That's when you go ahead and connect with them over there. Now, a lot of people have also struggled with their LinkedIn profiles, and so what I want you to do is I just want you to walk you through my LinkedIn profile just to give you an idea about what all fields you need to fill in and what all you need to, stuff that you should not miss out on. The most important thing that comes in over here is your summary, and your summary is something that basically talks to you about what you've done, who you are as a person, a little bit of introduction about yourself that lets the other person connecting with you know something about yourself, okay? And then comes your skills and endorsements, which I think is very important, because when you go through a person's LinkedIn profile, on the first shot you can see, okay, what are the things that he really likes, what are the things that other people have endorsed him for. So you see entrepreneurship, social media marketing, startup, social media strategy are the most things that I've been endorsed for. So as a third person, when you log into my LinkedIn profile, you can see that, okay, these are the things that this guy is good at. I don't have to tell that to you. So skills and endorsements is something that you need to go to your LinkedIn profile, fill that in, and then you need to bring that back over here. And experiences. This is where you talk about what you've done as an entrepreneur. This is what you need to talk about, what you've done as a business owner. And you can mention all the different companies that you founded, what you've done in all of those, what your achievements have been and everything. So it basically gives you a complete overview about what your business is about and all of that. Certifications is also something that's very important. Certifications help you know that, okay, you're a learned person, you've seen a few things around the world, and it sort of adds a little bit of an authority to you as well. Honors and awards also something that you can add into, which really brings out, shows that, okay, the amount of flexibility that you have, the different things that you're capable of doing and stuff of those kinds. And additional information, personal details, and it also asks you that how do you want other people to be able to connect to. So it asks, what is your advice for connecting. So you can always say that, you can send me a tweet at Gaurav PRKSH, or you can send me an email or whatever. It's really good stuff. And you can also mention your publications, any work that you've done that's got published, you can put that down there. You have recommendations from your clients that can come in over there. And you have options for connections. So this basically gives you an idea about how a person's LinkedIn profile is, what he's done so far and how things are working out. And it helps a lot in making the initial pitch. It helps a lot when it comes to making that initial presence felt over there. So I think that's basically pretty much what I wanted to talk about. So I think actually we can open the floor now for questions.
Sure. Before we start with the questions, I must say it was very interesting. I didn't know a lot of things about LinkedIn myself. You know, after using LinkedIn so regularly, you still miss out so many things. Well, that was really very interesting session. And yes, a couple of attendees do have questions. Let's just begin with the question answers.
Yep, let's begin with the question answers.
Okay. Give me 1 minute, please. Okay, Prashant Sachan wants to know, can you compare the power of LinkedIn to that of Twitter? And to add with his question, I would like to know, can you compare it with other platforms as well?
See, it's very difficult to compare both of them because both of them are primarily meant for different purposes. LinkedIn is more sort of, if you put it in a real life scenario, LinkedIn is more sort of a closed room with a lot of business people. Twitter is more sort of a place where you go to, where you go to address your concerns or where you tell the world what you're doing. So Twitter is still a little more personalized. Twitter is where you can share what you're doing on a daily basis. For example, okay, this was my breakfast, or I'm going on a road trip, or this is the new place that I found out. And Twitter maintains that. Twitter lets you be who you are, and there's no restrictions on that per se. But LinkedIn is something that's very, very business centric. It's very, very focused on what your business needs to be. So it depends on what he wants to compare it for. For client acquisition, obviously it's going to be LinkedIn. But if it's going to be for, say making connections on a session like this, for example, if he wants to get in touch with me later on, he can send me a tweet at Gaurav and basically see if you can have a word with me. But on LinkedIn, it's a little harder to find the person and basically make a connection and then get him. It's a 3-step process on LinkedIn, but on Twitter, it's just a 1-step process. So depending on what he wants to use it for, it's very difficult to compare both of those networks because they're completely different things.
Okay. Same. How can a person, market software training classes or soft skills, any sort of classes in any of the platforms?
Okay, for marketing something of those kind, I would recommend Facebook for the serious reason that it helps you target your audience, and there's a lot of graphics that can go on Facebook which is still hard to put on Twitter or LinkedIn. People don't really use a lot of because Twitter is something that's 90% of it is used on cell phones, and not a lot of people have 3G. So the probability of them actually opening an image and seeing the graphic and seeing what you can tell them is much lower. But Facebook is something that lets you play these graphics and you can target it. For example, if he's targeting these soft skill courses to people of emphasis, or if he's targeting these soft skill courses to a particular set of people, he can create Facebook ads that will target exactly those set of people and get his message straight across. But when he uses Twitter, the only thing that he can do is use hashtags. So that does not really convert as much as how much it would do on Facebook. And for LinkedIn, again, it's the same story. You can't convert. The conversion is really low. LinkedIn also has ads, but if that's what he wants to do, I would highly advise him to set up a Facebook page, set up a very good Facebook page actually, start running ads on the exact segment of people that he's looking to target, and start introducing his courses to them. And that's how the people are interested in that, and that's how that entire thing goes over there.
Okay. There's another attendee who he is in career counseling services, and his clients are schools, but they have a page. They have a page for students or users engagement, and as they are the beneficiaries, how could they use Facebook or any other platform to generate business or to connect to the right kind of people, or to get their messages and make people aware of their services or their presence in the market?
Okay, so he's into career counseling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So see, now when you get on the network, don't think about just selling, because that's the biggest mistake that a lot of people do. They say that, okay, I want to sell my product, that's why I'm going on the network. See, social media is basically where you build your brand. You can't go out there, create a page, get 10,000 likes and say that, okay, now I need conversions, now I need my clients to convert. It's about building a brand online. So if I were a career counselor, I would basically talk about the different types of careers that are going on, the new fields that are coming out. I would talk about how these different branches of medicine are coming out, or how different types of new career options are coming out. I would take testimonials from people who've already taken my career guidance and are successful in life today, and put all of this on the Facebook page. So what this does is, it's indirect selling. So if I'm a person who's confused about what I need to do with my career, and I see these good posts, I see these testimonials from people who've already done something using the career advice that he has given, it sort of builds an authority to me, So the chances of me, whenever I do think about career counseling, the chances of me going to him and basically asking him that, okay, I see your page, there's so many people who've successfully done this, and you have so many new courses that you're talking about, how can I as an individual help, get assistance, is much higher, as opposed to just making a post which says that, okay, we are into career counseling, we do this is the price, register today. That never works, because then that's forced marketing. No one is really interested in that. But if you can build around a story, if you can share success stories, because that adds to your credibility. If I'm thinking about career counseling, and if I see that 5 people today are engineers, 5 people are working with top law firms, from people who've got career guidance from your end, it automatically adds credibility to your services. And you don't have to sell me your product. I already know you are. So I just need to go and say, okay, well, selling immediately. First build the brand, and then you can start your indirect selling. And then, once the client gets in loyal, is when then you can start getting into that.
Okay, Gaurav. Someone wants to know, amongst all the social media platforms available nowadays, which one is most promising for growth in terms of reaching out to people, as you said, to build a brand, to build a name in the industry?
I would say that, right now Facebook and Twitter are going hand in hand on the number of users that they have and the number of brands that are building their presence online. But if you really want to get started with, I'd say to get started with Facebook, for the reasons that I've already told you. And Twitter is still a platform where, there are not a lot of active people, especially in India. Twitter, people still shy away from using Twitter. But there are a lot of people who are on Facebook. So between the two, at least if it's an India-centric product, I would start off my services on Facebook. I would start my marketing on Facebook, and eventually bring it to Twitter. Because, in a very harsh way, the more of the intellectual people are on Twitter. There's a lot of, brainy people on Twitter, and these are the people who probably, if it's a very complicated high-end product, these are the people who will understand. But Facebook is good to see marketing. Facebook is good to get the brand's name out there. So, I think both the platforms are growing equally at the moment. But the only thing that Twitter is that a lot of people register on Twitter, so your user base increases. Twitter says that, okay, we have X amount of people on with us right now, but they register and they don't use it. So that is not a number that I'm looking at. But on Facebook, people are much more active than what they are on Twitter. So that way, I mean, if you're looking to market something, if you want really high visibility, I would still go for Facebook.
Okay. For a startup, what's more important, to spend money on ads or to put up engaging contents or to gather audience on our upcoming product or service on a social media platform? I mean, see, most of the startups have this dilemma of, once the product is ready to go out in the market, they have this dilemma of putting up ads and promotions and everything. What is better? I mean, should they start with social media platforms, or should they directly plunge into the commercial aspects?
See, I think the best way that one could go about this is, again, and initially building the brand. Even when you are into the system, even when you're developing your application, set up your Facebook page, share daily activities. You can share stuff like, okay, today the UI has been ready. You can take pictures of the office and share it with people, okay, this is what we did today. And a lot of people also are interested in the startup culture. How's your office? What do you guys do for fun? And are you boring or are you interesting? So do not just, for example, if your application is ready today, do not create the Facebook page today and start marketing it from today. Because again, there's no one to listen to what you're trying to tell them. If you build a brand gradually, where you're giving people a lot of engaging content, where you're keeping people interested by sharing your personal life with them, where you're keeping people interested by telling them what's going on at the office today, or when you're telling them, okay, this is a new feature that we've added on the application, you're automatically doing your audience gathering. So there are a set of people who are now willing to listen to you. So you already have a page, you already have a Twitter account, you have a set of people who are listening to you, you have a set of people who are following you. Then when you do the product launch, back it up with ads so that your reach is furthermore pushed off. And then you can, do a successful product launch. But a lot of mistakes that people do is, they say that, okay, I'll set up my Facebook page once my product is ready. You will not have an audience. It will take a lot of time for you to create an audience and then convert it. So I would strongly suggest that get started with the page immediately. Share quotes, share success stories, share what the rest of the people in the application industry are doing, share updates about Androids. See, it's all about giving information. And if it's any information is interesting, if it's something that I like, I'll stick onto your page and I'll be loyal to you. So if you've shared a lot of tricks about how to increase your battery life, maybe for example on Android or a few applications on iOS which I didn't know about, so then I'm interested in what you're trying to tell me. So you have my attention. Then when you say that, okay, now I'm launching my product, this is what my product does, this is what the technology is, I would sort of be loyal to you and I'd be like, okay, so this is the guy who's been giving me all of this interesting information, and if he can give me so much of interesting information, imagine how awesome this application or this software could be. Let me give it a try. And that is what all matters.
Right. Similarly, on the line of thoughts, Shivam Goyal wants to know, you've entered Facebook, you've created your page, you've got your own friends and your, people who are constantly keeping a track of what you're doing. But how to build on that base, as in, how to build on more numbers, how to build on people, how to get more people to see you, to, to get to know you more. What are you doing and what the product or service is all about?
True. Again, see, that's when the factors of Facebook ad comes in. Your initial setup is going to be probably a couple of your friends who you talk to, they will like the page, they will do all of that. But then you realize that, you have to get out of those particulars because your friends are not going to be buying your products. Real people are. So that is where you start leveraging Facebook ads. And, Facebook ads is something that's so customized these days. For example, if I'm selling a keychain to you, I can customize it down to your interest, to your demographics, to what you're interested in, to what you do not like. I can even target ads to you that resemble my competition. For example, Chumbak would be my competition. So I would actually target you down to such level that I only want to target people who've already liked Chumbak. So building that audience furthermore is obviously being done by Facebook ads. And so also the other way to do it is to have really, really interactive content that just blows your mind. For example, if you look at the page Zomato, if you look at the content that they put out, they do not need any sort of ads to push the content because the content is that good. But as a startup, you don't have the resources to get that level of content. So you'll have to rely on Facebook ads initially, and then you have a high retention rate on Facebook ads as long as you have good, interesting content coming up. So that is how you can tap onto it.
Can you talk a little more about the Facebook ads? I mean, I'm sure we see lots of that, but how to go about it, how much it costs, being a startup, or the crunch is always there. So a little more explanation on Facebook ads.
Okay, so Facebook ads basically per user that likes the page, your prices go from 3 to 5 rupees per user that basically likes your page. So let's take an example. Let's say that I'm Aquafina and I want to launch a new flavor of water. And the market is already crowded. You have Bisleri, you have a lot of other competition out there. So what I do is I create a Facebook ad which says that I want to target people of Bangalore who live, say, 15 mile on a 15-mile radius from Bangalore. Facebook lets you target people who, for example, liked Bisleri. The reason why it lets you do that is if I'm a user, if I take a lot of mineral water, and if I've liked Bisleri already, the probability of me liking Aquafina is much higher. So Facebook ad lets you basically target this, and Facebook ad also lets you target your interests. For example, if someone who loves traveling, he's going to be buying a lot of water on the go. So this is the type of person you want to reach out to. So Facebook gives you these options that you can target people even with their interest. You can target people with pages that they've liked. You can target people on their demographics, and it actually doesn't cost you to create a Facebook page. Can you see my screen right now? Is it being shared?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going on Facebook over here, and I'll tell you, it's very easy to create a Facebook advertisement. You can just, I mean, this panel is there for everyone. You can go to facebook.com and you can click on campaigns and ad, and this particular page opens up. And you can basically just click on create an ad. You will not be required for a credit card until you complete the transaction and you finish everything out over there. So, as soon as you log in, you can see over here, it asks you what type of an ad you want to create. Facebook has been so good. It asks you that you want to create page engagement, do you want to get page likes, do you want to get clicks to your websites, or do you want to get application installs, or do you want to get application engagements. So it basically outlines the 6 different categories that it offers. And say, for example, I want to get more page likes. So I click on it, and then it asks me, okay, which page do you want to get more likes on? Say, for example, I want to get more likes on my college page, okay, my Institute of Communication. So then now it tells me that, okay, now the page is selected, and now it asks you, okay, select your particular image. Now the image is selected, and now, this is set so that it even shows you how your ad is going to look like. And I've not entered my credit card information yet, so it's not going to ask me for it. Now when you start scrolling down over here, this is the section that I was talking to you about. So you can see locations, it says all India. You can remove that, and you can basically add in a particular city or any place that you want. Say, for example, I want people from Bangalore. So you can type in Bangalore, and it will say Bangalore, Karnataka, India. Click on that, and it says Bangalore plus 25 miles on a radius. Done. Now this is where a little bit of intelligence comes in. So if I'm making a Facebook ad for someone to enroll in a college, he's not going to be 13 years old. So I'm going to start targeting an age group of 17 to probably 24. So you see how I'm narrowing down my ad to exact set of people who I'm interested in. I'm going to be wasting my money if I'm putting this, an ad of my college to a 60-year-old guy, because the probability of parents going on Facebook and making a decision based on which college is online is much lower than students themselves. So I'm targeting students over here. It's let me choose, 17 to 24. I can even choose, do I want men, do I want women? That is an option. I can choose which languages they talk about. Say, for example, I want them to be talking English. I can choose that. I can enter multiple languages that I want them to be talking. So you can see how it's getting furthermore targeted. And you can also create stuff like, what is their education level? Are they in high school? Are they in college? Are they already from college? You can see their workplaces. You can target people from wherever they have worked. All of this information comes in. Say, for example, you want to target people who are currently working at Infosys and are based out of Bangalore, and this is their age limit and speak the following languages. Facebook lets you do that. And even relationship status. For example, if you're marketing stuff that's more for a couple, you can put your relationship status as people who are committed, because those are the type of people who are going to be probably looking for stuff like this. So, I mean, you can see how detailed it is over here. You can even target the interests. For example, if I want to target travel as an interest, so it's going to be putting traveling as an interest. It even shows you how many people in the sector are available. And even connections. For example, when I was talking to you about only people who are not connected to Manipal University, you can also do an advanced targeting where you can say that include people who are connected to, say, for example, Lovely Professional Academy. So you can do that, and you can also furthermore go down all the way over here with customs and basically see what you have. So at the end of the day, if you see over here, it says your ad targets. It says you're targeting people who live in Bangalore, who are in the ages between 17 to 24, who are female, who like traveling, who educational level is set, who work at, who speak the following languages, and whose friends are already connected. So this is the amount of detailed targeting that Facebook lets you do. So your ad, the amount of money you spend on your ad, the ROI on this is really high. And now you can set in your budget over here. How much do you want to be spending per day? How much do you want to be spending for the entire lifetime of a budget? And you can place your order. Once you've placed your order is when it asks you for your credit card bill, for your credit card number. So you can try this for yourself, and you'll be surprised as to how detailed it is. So you don't have to put on. A lot of people fear from going to Facebook ads saying that, oh, they're going to charge me for it. They're not going to charge you for it. Try it and you see how detailed it is. If you like it, then you can put your card information down there.
Right. The same person wants to know, should he concentrate on likes or post engagement on FB?
Ideally you should be concentrating on a 60-40 ratio, where you say 60% goes in for getting likes on the page and 40% goes in for an engagement, because an engagement is basically a boost post. So a boost post is, for example, if you create a post, if you have 100 likes on your page and if you're coming out with a new offer, So you can boost a particular status update. You can run ads only for a particular status update. Say for example, you're running an application, now you're getting with a version 2.0. So just for that one particular post, you can run the ads. So those are for the page engagement. And if you want to get more likes on the page, then that's the page likes. So I would ideally suggest a 60-40, where 60% of your ad revenue goes to getting likes on the page and 40% goes in for engagement. And eventually reducing it down, if you're working with a good digital agency, they will give you good content to post on the page. So you'll not have to spend a lot of money on engagement. You'll have to spend money only on the posts. Sorry, only on the page. So because you're starting out, you need that push. I mean, that's what we do. We do it on a 60-40, and then eventually once we have enough number of likes, on the page, the content that we push out all keeps getting us the likes.
Right. For the startups with limited capital to spend on marketing, what is more rewarding? Online marketing or direct marketing? Which one will give out results quickly and strongly, especially when they're creating a B2B market?
See, on a B2B market, I would highly suggest, because it's only B2B, you would go in for LinkedIn and try emailers, because businesses, although the individuals are on networks such as Facebook and Twitter, I would highly suggest that email marketing will give you a better ROI as opposed to the networks, only if it's a B2B. You can use Facebook to have a presence. I'm not saying that do not use Facebook. You can use Facebook to have a presence, but to make the initial touch, emailers would do really fine. And see, Facebook and Twitter is basically there to build your brand. And for everything else, there's your emails and there's your LinkedIn. So you build your brand first, and a lot of people start marketing themselves the wrong way. They start getting their clients first and then start branding themselves later. Do not make that mistake. First, brand yourself on Facebook and Twitter, set up your IDs, make a good graphic over there, and then you can actually include all of this on your emailers. So that way, that even if other businesses, the individuals, a business is basically a set of individuals. So the individual over there who wants to see what your company is doing on a daily basis can still connect with you on Facebook or Twitter. But if you do it the other way around, sending only emailers and a website, it's a turn off. And today the way things are going is that 10 years ago, if you had a business and not a website, people would still believe you. But today, if you have a proper business and not a website or a social media platform, a network, people won't believe you. How many times has it happened that we go to search for a startup, and the first thing we probably do is go to the Facebook page and see how many likes they have? We don't even go to their website these days. We just go to the page and see, okay, this thing has 10,000 likes, this thing has 5,000 likes. Oh, I think this is better. So, that branding comes in over there.
Right. Give me 1 minute, please.
Yeah.
How to leverage Twitter and Pinterest and other social media for a service startup?
Service startup, it's a little different because you're trying to sell them a service. So if you're looking to leverage something as Twitter, you can use the right set of hashtags. For example, if you're into the business of making websites, for example, go to Twitter, do a hashtag search on website required. Go to Twitter, do a hashtag search on websites. And in fact, let's do that right now. And what it basically does is that people who need websites, they are going to be using these hashtags. Okay. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and tweet websites required. I'm just doing a hashtag search. Okay. Okay, there's nothing here. We'll do a hashtag search on website. So you'll get a lot of people who would be interested, probably getting on your website. Now, content like this, for example, learn to make a new e-commerce website. You can retweet stuff like this, and the thing with Twitter is that you really need to look for it. There'll be someone down there who'll say that, okay, I'm looking for a website hashtag. Now you can see this, get an attractive website that is specially tailored to your business. So this is a tweet that's been made by something called as K2B Solutions. So you can see that they've used hashtag website. Now if I'm on Twitter looking to get a website made, I'm going to do a hashtag website search, and I see K2B Solutions. I'm like, okay, I think these guys can make me a website. So I open up their profile and then I pick it up. There are also a lot of chances where people basically ask you out, where they say that, okay, looking to get a website made, hashtag me the website. That's pretty rare. But you can pick up stuff like this. If I'm a user and I see this, I can go over here and basically see. So they have decent amount of followers. So I can get them a tweet saying that, okay, I need a website, please get back to me. So they can leverage Twitter using these hashtags, the right set of hashtags. Pinterest is a different story because if you're selling a website, if that's your service, then Pinterest is really hard to crack into. But if you're selling something like Chumbak does, for example, sells stuff that's really interesting. A lot of people love it. There's a lot of graphics onto it. You can use Pinterest for a product like that because it's very visual. Twitter might not work that well for that particular reason, and so it depends on which industry you are in. So that really matters a lot on which platform it is for you to use.
Right. Is it important to have a graphic designer to implement Facebook or social media marketing? And how important, if it is, then how important it is?
It's very, very important to have a very good graphic designer working on your pages, because you just think about it. Facebook is basically a couple of images put together. So unless you have a very sharp graphic designer that can create these top-end graphics for your page, the look and feel of your page won't be what you want it to be. If you create pages if you create these designs using yourself or not using a proper graphic designer, the quality of your page deteriorates a lot, because remember, content is the king, but you need to put it in a very nice formation. Even if you have to make a basic general quote about something, you can't just write a text and put it on a quote. It has to be very well designed. So yes, a very important point of managing social media or network these days is having very good graphics. And all the agencies, including us, when we charge, most of it is for the graphic designer that we're giving them, because design is what speaks. So it's very important to have a good graphic designer who has an understanding of not only graphic designing but also a little bit about how social networking website works, because he can create the graphics accordingly.
Which internet marketing softwares do you think are worth laying your hands on?
Internet marketing softwares. See, now it again depends on what your exact requirements are. I can't pinpoint a particular name and tell you that, okay, these are the good software that you can use. See, Facebook ads itself does really good. LinkedIn ads itself does really good. So, I mean, at least on a startup level, I don't really see the need for you to invest in, those softwares and those services at the moment. But obviously, if you're looking to scale up, then if you're in touch with a very good digital agency, they usually take care of all of this.
And what are the any free softwares for these things a startup can actually look into for initial phases, and when they really think they need to take it further, and they can go to graphic designers. But initially, what all softwares they should indulge in?
You can try Simply Measured. They are the really the prominent ones, and one second. Those are the really prominent ones, and the thing is, they also give you a free trial, so you can try those. That's their ID. You can try them. They give you a free trial for a bit, and you can use it and see if you like it. And if you're looking for something on the free stuff, then you can probably check this out, socialdawn.com, and they have pretty good stuff that you can have.
Right. Well, that's all with the questions. Again, the questions kept on coming. Thank you, audience. The next webinar will be conducted on 12th of March on team building. Keep a lookout on our Facebook promotions. If you find this, you found this session interesting, tweet us at NEN India. The recorded version of this webinar will be available on our YouTube channel by tomorrow. Thank you very much, Gaurav, for this interesting session. Thank you all our attendees for participating in this webinar. We are glad that the questions kept coming in, and the presentation recording of the session will be up very soon. Thank you once again. Have a nice evening all.
Okay.
Thank you, Gaurav.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being here.